the end of the Bronze Age. Like, they're going into a dark age. And
End of
eventually
LeBron's age?
End of LeBron's age. I mean, he just joined the 76ers. Then he's going to join the Athens alien. Okay.
The next video we're going to make is how did the fall of Troy affect LeBron's legacy?
Yeah, literally. Oh, my God. Nice.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I've never seen the Titanic, but I have seen The Room at least 3 times.
And I'm Sean, and I think Forrest Gump is fine. There, I said it.
And this is Flicks and Flops, the podcast where we watch movies, talk nonsense,
And pretend to know what we're doing.
grab your snacks, lower your expectations, and let's ruin some cinema together.
Because nothing says film analysis like two friends arguing over whether Nicolas Cage is a genius or just bored.
A podcast, a flick, a flop, flicks and flops. All right, I'm not going to do the Travis Scott bit anymore, which, by the way, if you told me that Travis Scott would be the first literal person on screen in this movie,
I wouldn't have believed you.
No, not in a million years. But I will say I think he sold it as the Bard. Obviously, we know what we're talking about here. We're talking about the Odyssey. We've been hyping this up for probably the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, honestly, this has been something that I've been really looking forward to because Christopher Nolan movies are different to me in the sense that sometimes they're very hit or miss. I absolutely love them, or I'm just I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I mean, well, on that note, which ones are your kind of
Okay, so before we go into it, I was actually thinking about this, so I wrote this down.
Oh my God, he did a tier.
Not even a tier list.
You got to show him this.
Not even a tier list.
You got to see the handwritten dedication. This dude made a list. Okay.
So I wrote down all of the Nolan movies so far.
Okay.
And now,
is this your rank?
This isn't even a ranking. I wanted to see what your thoughts were.
Okay, all right.
So, off the top, here's how I wrote them down here. Of all the Nolan movies, we have The Odyssey, Oppenheimer, Tenet, Dunkirk, Interstellar, Transcendence, Inception, Dark Knight Rises, Prestige.
Batman
Begins was not done by him, oddly enough. I searched it up 4
You're missing
times.
Memento.
Oh, good call.
And maybe one more.
But let's say.
But I mean, for the most part, this is all the classic ones. You want me to give my?
If you had to do a top 5,
right.
What would your top 5 be?
I'm gonna go Prestige 1 for sure. That I think is just peak Nolan. I will say there's kind of this genre of people where you could argue, how in film school you got the people no, Pulp Fiction's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
There is a class of people with the Prestige, but for me, it was kind of my introduction to him, other than I guess Batman. But I honestly think I saw the Prestige for Batman, which I mean I would have been 10 when the Prestige came out. So shout out to my parents. After that, oh man, see, I'm having a hard time reckoning where I want to put this one. I'm gonna go. All right, here's where I'm going to go. I'm going to go Oppenheimer 2.
All right.
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. This in between Dark Knight and this is holy shit, and Dunkirk is so good. All right, I'm going to make all right, I got to just go for this here. Odyssey 3, Dark Knight 4, Dunkirk 5, Tenet 6, and the rest, whatever. Interstellar's solid, Memento's solid,
Then the rest just kind of go
yeah,
as...
but out of the 6 that I feel I've out of all those movies other than Oppenheimer, I've rewatched, or not Oppenheimer, The Odyssey. I've rewatched all of them before, so multiple times. I've rewatched Interstellar and Memento too, not Transcendence.
I saw Transcendence and it was completely forgettable.
Okay, well,
that was the one with Johnny Depp where he's puts himself into the AI. He wants
that
to keep
was
his
Nolan?
Yeah, he wanted to keep his mind going forever.
Oh my God, that movie sucked.
Yeah, I hated that movie so much. I was shocked when I found out that was him.
Interesting, yeah.
Do you want to hear mine?
I do, but I will say my hot take of the day. I love how we're doing a whole mini Nolan thing before we even dive into it. I like Inception. I've never loved it, to be honest. I'm interested to hear what you think. It's a great movie. It gets all the props. There's a reason why it's as big of a cultural phenomenon as it is. But for me, that movie doesn't do it for me on like my favorite stuff with Nolan. You can base it on my stuff is like stuff where his interpersonal character interactions are my favorite thing. I think
Okay.
he does it so well, especially when now that he's in his like biopic era.
Yeah.
The, like this, I don't even. I mean, I wouldn't call this a biopic. It's not. I mean, what the like?
Musical biopic.
Yeah,
he
but-
dipped his toes into that hot trend.
Yeah, but give me your list. What do you got?
Okay, so hot take, not even a hot take, never see The Prestige.
That's all right.
I saw the trailer the other day. We were looking for movies, and I was like, it's about magicians. Pass. Something about magicians, don't want to see it.
Wow, you're gonna be crucified, dude.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's going to be like, oh, haven't you seen it? Now you see
shoulda-
it. Now
you-
you see it sucks, too. I don't care what anybody
You
says.
should have just cut it off. I haven't seen The Prestige.
Yeah, I haven't
Like,
seen The
I
Prestige, so
think
this list means
yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, now you see me. Yeah, no, those movies are overrated.
I'm gonna start it here with actually Inception is my number one.
Okay.
I love that movie
Yeah.
so much. It's such a mind fuck, but I love it.
Yeah.
It works so well. Such a great movie. Dark Knight is 2 for me.
Okay.
I love the performances he got out of everybody in that movie.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger's the Joker, phenomenal. And that movie doesn't feel crazy long, and everything moves at a good pace for it. Number 3 is actually going to be Oppenheimer.
Okay.
Then Tenet, or The Odyssey at 4.
Okay.
At 5, I would actually agree with you on Dunkirk. I love that it's
I was
mostly
gonna
no
say
dialogue.
the one thing I think we've talked about as far as Chris Nolan is I don't think you like Tenet.
I can't stand Tenet. It's the most self-righteous thing I've ever seen. And it's so pretentious where it's always like, oh, I've known you for weeks, but it's really been years. What does that mean? Oh, you know.
Oh, but he's so good in that movie though.
We've been friends for so long.
He's
but
so-
it's,
dude.
like, everyone's great in that, but it's just so pretentious to me that I can't stand it.
I'm your friend. In the past,
Yeah.
we get up to a lot of crazy stuff.
Yeah, it's like so
No,
ridiculous.
dude, Pattinson is so good in that, but that movie, I get it. I get why people don't. I totally understand. Your thoughts on Inception or my thoughts on Inception or what your thoughts are on Tenet, and that's fair. He's divisive like that. That's what makes him so good. I mean, it's hard to say because like I feel like even doing a ranking like that, I feel like I just committed sacrilege against The Dark Knight. But like
it's so hard because his movies.
but like all of them are so good, and like this, I think was just. There's so many layers to this movie. Like, I mean, also I grew up being like a mythology freak, so like of course I'm big on this, but I also think he took a really interesting like in the same way he kind of did this in Oppenheimer too, but I felt like weirdly enough, even though Oppenheimer was based in reality, like and this was like more in a in a time of magic or whatever the Star Wars intertitle at the beginning was. I think there's a lot of commentary on the world today kind of weaved into this. And I'm interested to, we'll definitely unpack that onion layer by layer. But
Well, I think it's so interesting that neither of us had Odyssey as the top one. I think to me that says this movie, don't get me wrong, it's still very good.
I see, this is my raw thing. I feel like the more I feel like this is one of those ones you see it again and it's just like, because that's how I felt with Oppenheimer, because I probably had Oppenheimer under Dunkirk and under, what was it? Whatever I said, I don't even remember. Odyssey, of course. Yeah. So
Roll
like,
back the tape.
Yeah, Oppenheimer. The second time, I like loved it way more, and I think that movie's one of those movies where it's actually like insanely rewatchable. You
Okay.
pick up on a lot of stuff. I think Nolan's been like, it's not that it's been like. A lot of his movies, you get a lot more on the rewatches just because there's so much to digest at once, but like. This one and Oppenheimer, I feel like he just keeps upping the ante to the point where the internet's saying like, "Bro, what is he gonna do next? Like the Bible? Like,
Yeah.
like he's literally we went from nuclear war to the death of civilization in this to like where do we go now, dude? Like,
I mean, I think this movie is very interesting because it's the core of storytelling. Mm-hmm. So I'm surprised that it took somebody this long to actually try and do a modern. Not like modern, but a new version of the Odyssey. You get what I'm saying?
there was, it's funny you say that. There was a live action adaptation of it, and I know this because I watched it in Latin class in like 7th grade, and it was so bad. It was so ass.
It's so easy to do this wrong because it's such a crazy story. There's so much that happens, and there's so much not just like what is actually happening, but the meaning in every part of the adventure.
And as someone who loves like obviously the original material with like all the different journeys, Nolan made the right call cutting what he cut. and like keeping it like I think it's one of those things where it just came to me. Someone suggested that the next thing he should tackle is Dante's Inferno, and I completely agree because he took the reason. You want to know why this was so hard to adapt? Because it's literally, like you said, it is like arguably the creation of storytelling, like the hero's arc and all this shit. A lot of this kind of goes back to like Greek mythology, but especially the Odyssey. There's a reason why this is in like K through 12. Well, obviously more closer to 12. Like we read this shit in English class. I think I read this in 7th grade, and then I read it in high school again. But the reason why it was so hard is just because it's so lengthy. There's so much depth to it. It's like it's hard to put that all into a movie, maybe into a series. Sure, even then, I don't know. It's just like there are some aspects of it where it translate better in the writing as opposed to on the visual. And I think where he chose to cut, where he chose to make slight alterations, created a phenomenal product. I think this is an adaptation. This is not a direct one-to-one with the book. And that's fine because I think it stands on its own two legs while also capturing like what makes the Odyssey. But there are a lot of changes, subtle, but like, and of course I'll dive into that. I'm in my Mythman bag, as my Latin teacher used to call me. Yeah, my Mythbusters bag. Yeah, we're gonna solve a myth. Myth busted. Okay.
Well, like one thing I wrote down here, and I thought it was really interesting because we were talking about how Charlize Theron was Calypso, and you had Anne Hathaway as Penelope. That it's like, oh, Matt Damon had to choose between Charlize Theron and Anne Hathaway, and I literally wrote here that is steak too juicy, lobster too buttery.
And here, this will be my first my first point. He did have quite the harem going in this, but if we followed one thing they kind of adapted is that in the original Odyssey, he ends up staying with Cersei for like after he convinces Cersei to turn his men back from pigs, she falls in love with him, and they like hang out for a year. Has kids with her, has kids with Calypso, so kind of having kids on Penelope. Not this Odysseus, but I think I just wanted to touch on the fact that this Odysseus, like, very relatable. You still see the cockiness, you still see the cleverness. I mean, from the beginning, John Leguizamo's like, "Oh, clever! You're alerting the prey, but like you can only alert the prey so much before like you pay the price." Which eventually. We kind of see how that plays out, but he's very he gets humbled as it goes throughout. You see him suffer, you see what his moral integrity, why people follow him, all that stuff. But they remove some of like I guess he commits plenty of hubris in this, but like in the novel, I feel like he commits even more. So I just like how it's an authentic Odysseus, but it's also like weirdly enough, a level-headed Odysseus, which of course they mention so many times. I mean, he's like the smartest of them all. So
I was going to say, a lot of this is going to veer into spoilers, but quite honestly, another thing I wrote down is I love when people are like, spoilers for the Odyssey. It's like, dude, that book's been out for like 7,000 years. Like, if you truly are going to complain about spoilers for something that's been out, that's like being like, oh, spoilers for the Bible, bro. It's like,
oh, dude, Adam met Eve? Yo, that's crazy.
It's like anyone who will complain if you're talking about this movie, they're like, oh, don't spoil it. It's like, dude, you had 7,000 years to read this book. Probably more.
You know who had an arc? Noah.
Yeah, it's like, it's so crazy to me. Like, anyone who's like, oh, don't spoil it. It's like, there's no, everyone knows about this. A lot of central themes and stories are taken basically directly from the Odyssey. It's the whole idea of defying the odds, defying what fate is, trying to set your own course. A lot of that gets taken from the Odyssey.
Absolutely.
So like everyone that tries to tell stories and be like an auteur now, or for even a better word, a raconteur, no one uses that word anymore.
No, that's true.
But like for people that want to be like that, they take inspirations from things like this. And even a lot of like mythos is taken from this as well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, it's one of those things where you don't have kind of the era of literature, media, etc., that's built up over the last few centuries. Quite frankly, all of modern history without this. Like, it is, quite frankly, the blueprint, you know, for a lot of it. So, and God, it is crazy. We're in 2026 and we're only now getting like this level of an adaptation of this. They filmed this shit in like, dude, like 7 countries or something ridiculous like that. And you know what? You can tell because like I struggle to find a fantasy movie that has looked this realistic maybe ever. That hot take, don't know. Off top of my head, like, I mean, I've seen ones that look great. I mean, one that I actually thought was kind of underrated for that was, did you ever see that James Franco Oz movie?
Oh, with
Oz the Great
Sam
and Powerful.
Raimi, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no.
That actually was one where I was like, okay, I can actually like buy most of this. This movie far surpasses that, but like, that's kind of the bar. I feel like, you know, you gotta. And Sam Raimi, also someone we're a big fan of here on Flicks and Flops. Like, who, oh God, can you imagine a Sam Raimi Odyssey?
Dude, Sam Raimi Odyssey would be the craziest, most twisted shit. I'd be here for it.
He'd probably just go out of his way to like show us all the. It's funny that the murder of Agamemnon is arguably one of the most brutal things in this. Well, other than like, you know, the giant eating people and the other guys, the cannibal giants, the pigs, etc. But like, there's so much worse, man. Like, Sam Raimi would find a way to like be like, yeah, let's show every horrible thing. Like, we'll show Sisyphus pushing the boulder. We'll show Tantalus not being able to drink or eat. Like, oh my God.
They'd be like, what about Odysseus getting home? He's like, yeah, who's that? He's like, I've completely forgot about him. That's not his journey anymore.
He's chilling with the nymph. Let's go watch torture God like 70,000. Like
so many. This cast was beyond stacked.
Oh my God.
And not only that, but everybody was phenomenal in it. Everyone who played a role in this movie was just top tier. Like, everyone came in with amazing performances. Anne Hathaway knocked it out of the park. Matt Damon, great.
Oh.
You know, my only complaint in this entire movie, and it's so minor, it's really like 2 things and they're super, super minor. So,
sure.
One, as we mentioned before we started recording, when Odysseus and his remaining crew are leaving Hades, there's just this weird shot where Matt Damon's on the boat.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, when he's hanging on the front, like staring back at the dead crew.
It doesn't look right.
Yeah.
Like, he's clearly superimposed there. And it's just like, it looks off because everything else is so well done and so well shot.
Oh, dude, you think
it stands out.
I mean, like, I don't.
Like a sore thumb.
I should have looked into how they did I have to believe part of that ship was practical.
Oh, it was. They rented a Viking ship, actually.
Okay, really?
Yeah, so.
Oh my God.
Fun fact, Universal Studios has not paid back the damage on the boat. It's only like $6,000. And they won't pay it back. This movie cost.
$250 million.
This movie's breaking records.
$250 million before
marketing.
Before marketing.
Keep in mind.
So, like, probably, I mean, this movie has already passed, well, before this week in a box office, we're recording this on a Sunday, had already, I think, broken even. Like, I think it had already gotten to, like, $375, like, if we're accounting for the marketing budget. So, like...
I mean, that's Moana live action.
$6,000, dude.
That's Moana live action money. This movie cost the same amount to make as live action Moana.
And that's, like, probably flopping to hell and back.
One looks amazing and one looks awful. So
one has The Rock in it, one does not.
Yeah, that tells you everything.
One has a lot of rocks in it, one has only The Rock.
Yeah, but, like, everyone was great, and I think, actually, Robert Pattinson, phenomenal choice as the heel to Achilles.
Get out these beggars.
Or, not Achilles, as the heel to Odyssey.
Oh, yeah.
Or Odysseus.
Odysseus.
I'm going to get the name right eventually.
To Odyssey, yeah.
Yeah, but, like, it's so nice to have somebody
get rid of these beggars.
Get these beggars out of here.
Somebody get these beggars out of here.
I love that scene. And I think he's so good because he plays the perfect, like, sniveling coward who wants others to do his work.
You know what he was giving to me in this? He was giving me, like, young Hugh Grant. Like, he played, like, the calculating douchebag because, like, he's such a coward, but he also knows how to talk his way out of everything.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, my God, he has to, instead of failing the, threading the bow thing, he, you know,
he's like, I'm not even going to try.
I'm not even going to try. You know, this was a test. We're not Odysseus, but he's not coming back. So pick the best of us, or like, you know, how he like oh my god, the silver tongue motherfucker, dude. Like how the funniest part too is when they're in like the final battle and he's like telling him like, get those swords, get those spears, kill him. It's like he's too much of a coward to get into it, but he's like, you know, leading them, like
he's hiding behind a pillar and he's like, oh god, somebody else get the shield.
And it's funny because there's this his kind of like partner in crime, the guy who gets like stabbed in the throat, and he's like, it's Odyssey. He like at one point kind of questions him like, dude, like you're a fuck, but he's like, no, together you and I. I'm like, they make you think that like, so here's my get the tinfoil ready, kids. They show that he has that affair with Melantho, Mia Goth's character.
Yeah.
But what if he really had an affair going on with that guy too? I mean, it's Greek Roman. You know, it's all Greek to me. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think one other thing I realized about this movie too, Christopher Nolan loves working the same people over and over.
Oh
and
my
over
God,
again.
yes.
So like
he went into his bag, like everyone. Yeah. Like the only people you're really missing in this are like Gary Oldman, who's like pseudo retired.
Yeah.
You know, he could have brought Guy Pearce back, Cillian Murphy. The problem with Cillian, I'm actually glad Cillian wasn't in this because I think I love him, but he's like having this resurgence right now where like if he was in this, it would be like,
it'd be too much.
Well, it's like you already have to immerse yourself so much into thinking all these like huge actors like aren't just, you know, the actors themselves playing it, which
yeah.
The one comment that I'm sure everyone wants us to make, well, first of all, I think we both agreed that we like that they didn't go for like the old Shakespearean like, you know, romantic speak. Like everyone kind of talks relatively normal everyone's still kind of speaking in you know, in line with like vernacular of the time, but like, you know, no one's being like, I spoketh thy doketh, like, you know, except you do have Travis Scott as the bard he does do some like iambic pentameter shit, like a fleet, a flock, like with the whole, you know, and they do that like a little bit throughout this, but I'm glad they didn't do it. The one where I can see why people wouldn't fuck with it, I do, is like, you know, they take, you know, Frank Parthenon, I know, I love that. I for the record, I saw that on the internet. I wish I came up with that. But they have John Bernthal playing Menelaus and kind of plays it like his gruff kind of Frank Castle-ish style. My argument to that, like I told you off camera, is just like Christopher Nolan knows what he's doing. He can get the best out of his actors. Like he had to have made the conscious decision to let him kind of, you know, do that. And I think it fits for it because I mean Menelaus, another quick mythology dive is Helen gets whisked away by Troy, Paris of Troy, who's like a king or a prince there, who won favor with Aphrodite, and Aphrodite as a gift like made Helen fall in love with him. So like Menelaus is like pissed, and obviously like, you know, still holds resentment for Helen, which you can see in those scenes that like he's still kind of like pissed at her because he ran away. But then Agamemnon, you know, played by Benny Safdie, which is such an interesting choice to have him play it. But I mean, you almost never see him outside of the helmet, which I think
it's got to be intentional.
Oh yeah, it was a good choice. Well, it's also just kind of like Menelaus is supposed to like rescue Helen, you know, in his quest of love, but like Agamemnon, like Matt Damon says in that scene early to Hand Halfway, he uses this as an excuse to fuck over Troy so that he can get the trade routes because he's a greedy bastard, you know, and wants power. I literally want there needs to be so many more mythology movies because there's so much stuff that they like reference on the side that could literally be a movie of its own. Like,
oh, for sure.
Like when they talk about Agamemnon's son Orestes, like there could be like a House of Atreus movie because like all of those people, Menelaus included, descend from like this guy Atreus who's like cursed by the gods and his whole bloodline is like cursed. Sorry, had to dump there, but I think I like that they didn't go for the old time speak. Everyone you kind of rock with and get that they are, you know, you believe in their characters. I mean, god damn, like John Leguizamo, other than when you see him young, you like, I mean, you don't forget it's him necessarily just because of the way he like, you know, I mean, that his voice is super recognizable, but like he's great. And I will say, this marks the second movie where John Leguizamo is telling someone not to fuck with someone's dog or else he's going to kill them. Remember, he's in John Wick, the first one.
And speaking of multiple movies that feature the same thing, this is the third Matt Damon movie, second Matt Damon, Christopher Nolan movie, where Matt Damon's just trying to get home.
Okay, so there was Interstellar.
The
No, not
Martian.
Interstellar. No, The Martian. No.
Interstellar does count, I think, because he's not trying to get back. He's trying to get it to a new Earth.
Oh, you're right. He's
Yeah.
the dude they find on the.
Yeah, he's frozen. They find him like in the
Yeah.
cryo sleep.
Oh my god, dude! Sometimes I forget he's in that movie.
Yeah, I
He's a
didn't
cat-
believe it.
because he plays like kind of like a almost anti version of himself in that. Like he's
Yeah.
always like the good guy, the guy like in that he's like a sniveling coward who just wants to run away.
And you know who else was in that? Anne Hathaway. And Timothy Chalamet and Casey Affleck, weirdly enough.
We're in that.
Yeah, Casey Affleck was the older Timothy Chalamet.
Oh yeah, no, I remember the scene. Yeah, they weren't. For a minute, I thought you were saying they were in this. I'm like, they were not. But
No, but like it's so interesting that he does find a lot of the same kind of people. Like he worked with Michael Caine in some of the Batman movies, brought him in for Interstellar. He's not in this.
he's in The
but-
Prestige too.
Oh, he's like the older teacher kind of
Dude,
thing.
he's in like a lot of his movies actually. I mean, I think he's like mostly retired now, so I don't know if he's like that's why he's not showing up
I mean,
in these.
he's got to be at least 80.
Yeah. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, the last movie that Gary Oldman actually I think was his cameo in Oppenheimer when he's Truman.
Oh, that would make sense because he's just not really doing. He's staying out of the public eye.
Because he's doing that show that I told you I'm watching, Slow Horses, and he says that when that show's over, which I think there's a couple more seasons of that, he's basically going to retire from acting.
So talented.
I mean, dude, he's almost 70. Like that dude is literally like the chameleon of the screen. But anyways, back to the movie.
One thing about this movie too, and I've noticed that Nolan does this a lot, is the sound is incredibly loud. At some point, and like most people kind of whisper their dialogue, so it's better to see it in theaters because you can actually hear what's going on and understand what people are saying. At home, this would probably be a really tough experience because the sound design isn't great, so people will be talking like this and being very quiet, and then all of a sudden there's going to be like a loud scream. And you're like, oh shit, volume up.
The
and then
Cyclops
down.
scream is literally one of the most horrifying things I've ever listened to in my entire life.
I legit thought the Cyclops scream was going to break the speakers. Like, honest to God, I heard the speakers crackling, and for a second I was like, oh my God, they legitimately cannot handle how loud this is, which is cool. And it makes sense because they're in a cave and supposed to be, if a monster screams super loud in a cave, it would be loud. It would make sense.
Oh, because it'd be
ear-splitting.
be echoing. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that makes sense. The ship being destroyed in the storm too was incredibly loud as well.
Oh my God, that was so loud. Another one that was loud too was when all the animals were the transformed animals were trying to get his attention too, and Cersei's thing. Yeah, a lot of moments that are like. If you're like hard of hearing or hearing sensitive, man, you're gonna need to lock in for this one.
Oh, if you're hearing sensitive, this is gonna hurt.
Yeah.
This is gonna be painful at points,
Yeah.
and especially one that was really jarring for me was the sound of the bones cracking
Oh.
when Cersei's transforming them into pigs.
Oh,
And you just hear like their skin moving and the bones being.
she
And I
did
was
she did the what's her name? The daughter of Professor or sister of Professor Xavier thing from Deadpool and Wolverine with the hands and the face, dude.
Oh yeah.
The molding, dude, that was crazy.
I think one thing that was really well done though too, and I'm sure this probably actually is in the Iliad, is when she's transforming them back, she says back into your disguise.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does say that in the
Yeah.
audit. Yeah, she does say that.
I like that as a good reference of being like she pointed out, they're pigs, they're lower people because they're disgusting.
So the whole thing is like, as you can tell, obviously we only see her do it with the pigs, but like she turns people into different animals
Yeah.
based on what she like perceives of like their personality. In that case, she viewed them as just like a bunch of bloodthirsty warriors, like, and pigs, like,
Yeah.
you know. But like obviously when he kills that, when how Odysseus finds out he kills that deer and it turns out it's a guy.
And then he's just like, oh.
Which like definitely took me a second to process. I was like, oh shit.
I was like, why is there a dude? And
I was like, why is there? I'm like, oh, because she transformed him too. See, this movie, like, oh God, I say show don't tell every time, but like this movie, dude, you gotta think on your feet because they're not feeding you shit for free in this.
No.
Like they do. they do a lot of harkening back and circling back, and I think the way that I love that this movie was in a non-linear narrative, like that we start, kind of, we get a sense of like what Ithaca's like with him gone, then we ease into like kind of about him, like they show, but then they only show partial truths of like situations, like, we think that Antinous made some noble sacrifice for Sinon, but really he like bribed him like a coward.
Because Antinous is just soft boy. He's the softest, wettest boy.
Just the softest, wettest boy. You're pathetic.
Very soft, very wet. You get that. They show the siege of Troy like in very slow fashion to the point where we're like, you don't fully get why they've earned the ire of the gods. Like you think, oh, they only earned it by like hurting the Cyclops and doing this other shit. No, the whole reason it was bad was that they fucking destroyed a temple in the name of Athena while providing a gift in the name of Athena, and all that fun stuff.
I do love the view and the storytelling from inside the horse as well. I think that's something you don't really get in a lot of these adaptations, is like, what was it like inside there? And I like how it's like, it's disgusting. People were drowning when it would come on the shore.
Well, yeah, because they weren't expecting they weren't expecting the horse to get covered in sand. Yeah,
but like, I love that they're like, hey, we're peeing, people are peeing on us, they're shitting on us. I was like, that's great, because it's like, it's a nasty, realistic look of what it would be inside of that if you're in that for days.
Yeah.
But also, how do people like not figure that they're like, holy shit, we need like the entire village of Troy to move this? Is there nobody in here? Like, I guess you could argue that it's heavy.
The thing was already, they built it out of like literal ships. Yeah.
So like, you could argue that it's like, oh, it makes sense that it's heavy. But like, if you need your entire village or your entire city of Troy to move it, you think that there'd be some, but then again, it's part of the like enigma of the whole thing.
Well, also, like, dude, I mean, we don't know how. What are you, like a wood weight expert? Like,
well, if a wood weighs as much as a newt,
what a woodchuck chuck? What if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
No, it's what is it, Monty Python? When they're like, well, if the witch weighs as much as wood and she floats, she's a witch.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I figured that's what you meant. I just wanted the excuse to say that. But no, I agree. My other thing too is like, how did we not hear them like thumping about? Like, how did we not hear the water? Like, I could see it. Maybe they had slits in it. Maybe the water all kind of fell out. But like, and because they drown, I guess you're not gonna have like blood per se. Maybe a little bit, but like.
Did you notice? I thought it was a really good level of detail when some of the Trojans are stabbing the horse.
Yeah.
Just to test, one person gets stabbed. They all cover his mouth, but as the sword is being pulled out of his shoulder, someone else grabs the sword real quick and wipes off the blood.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's so
I
smart.
saw that where he just grabs it and he's not trying to like pull the sword in. It's just enough to wipe the blood.
He's literally just trying to have it like wipe his hand. Yeah,
so
like
he
a
just
knife.
goes like that.
Oh, that's so smart. Holy shit.
Because then they pull the sword out and there's no blood on it.
Well, yeah, because dude, like they literally thought of everything.
I mean, it was really, really smart.
Survival is the name of this movie, and they do everything to survive. Granted, only one guy ends up surviving in the end from that, but.
And I do love Zendaya as Athena.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, especially that the whole thing they try to keep instilling, like in the audience throughout the movie, is Zeus's law: treat others as you would have treat yourself treated. Anybody could be a god.
Yeah.
At one point in the movie, I like that they leave it up to interpretation. That you see that when they're sacking Troy, they bring Zendaya out, and she's looking right at Odysseus.
Yeah.
And then they behead her. And he keeps seeing her throughout the entire movie.
So the idea, I believe, is that she was under the guise of that Trojan villager who had been like, I think the goddess's statue got beheaded at the same time as she got beheaded. So I think her idea of haunting Odysseus, who already had the trauma of seeing a literal woman like getting her like head cut in front of him, was to haunt him as that visage, right? Which, I mean, she's really the only like physical god we see as far as like imagery wise. Like, we're not seeing like Zeus or Poseidon. Like, we only see Zeus, Poseidon, and Helios and Apollo. Just we see them with all the crazy weather and other bullshit they have to deal with. But like, I like that they used her as kind of a shade before the shade. Of course, they encountered the shades of Sinon and Agamemnon and Tiresias all later in Hell. Which, another thing too, I like how they handled Hell. Or Hades, Tartarus, whatever you want to call it. Like, we don't actually see a river of fire. We don't see Charon. They're not riding on the because like in the actual book, they're like all kind of in this ship in hell, like on the river Styx, and they're running into the shades, like, you know, on the road, whereas they just kind of meet them on this island, this haunted ass Scooby-Doo island.
I do like that a lot. Like, I'm so sick of adaptations where they're just like, hey, it's fire everywhere, everything's awful, everyone's burning and screaming. Like, it was really cool just to get this like desolate, barren wasteland that has nothing to it, and it's black sand.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was cool, and also huge shout out to Elliot Page.
Elliot Page is unreal.
Phenomenal
Honestly,
in it.
like one of the hearts of the movie. Like,
It keeps the whole plot going, and especially when he takes the drink of the blood too, and he's like, "Oh my God, you betrayed me, you lied to me," and it's like it feeds into Odysseus' whole thing of being like, "Oh my God, my guilt."
well, he needed the lie to make
Yeah.
the trick work.
But he still feels guilty about
You
it.
needed to make it seem like all the Greeks had ran away, and that this was like the one emissary being like, "Oh, we gave up. Here's the horse," you know.
I mean, I love that, and also, I know just enough about Greek mythology that I feel like you're not supposed to carry, or you don't have material possessions when you cross over, right?
Yeah.
I love that Agamemnon is still in his whole ass outfit.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this like headcanon that he shows up and they're like, "Nah, man, you gotta take that off." And then like they realize what the armor is, and they go, "Man, that fit is sick as hell. You keep that. you keep that, dog."
Yeah.
Because like a little cheesy, but I kind of loved it. Is he's not walking up like Sinon did. Sinon walked over to take a drink of the sacrificed blood. Agamemnon, shows up, and it's like mystical. Like, I don't know if you noticed this, but he doesn't walk. He like floats up.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell because he's not.
Well, he was like the king of kings, basically. Yeah.
Like, he's not moving. He's not moving in a normal way. He's just standing still, moving forward. It's kind of like that. You know that music video of God? I can't remember the musician now, but when he's in the room and the room's moving around, you know what I'm talking about?
Jamiroquai, yeah.
So when he's doing
Virtual
the whole thing,
insanity, yeah.
When they're doing the whole thing where the walls moving, so it looks like he's moving,
Yeah.
but he's not.
Yeah.
It felt like they were doing that with Agamemnon,
Oh, I wonder if that's how they did that.
because I think
That
it
was a
had to be
cool
something
effect.
similar, because
Yeah.
he moved forward, and it was like very mystical in the way it was done, and then moved backward into the crowd too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was really cool.
Yeah.
And I like that this movie didn't have a ton of special effects. A lot of it is very practical.
They keep it like it's very mystical and fantastical the whole time, but they keep it like almost in a weirdly grounded way of doing that.
Yeah.
Which is like they don't. I mean, obviously you get the monsters like the like another difference is like Charybdis, like the whirlpool. Like I don't know if it necessarily can talk, but like the whirlpool is very like much considered like alive.
Yeah.
They make Scylla more like instead of like this like tentacle monster, they make it like this like stone snake thing, like where they choose where he chooses to use actual fantastical stuff as opposed to just like classic Greek vibes is very smart, and it's very like this is about as believable as a fantasy movie as you're ever gonna get, right? You know, like when there are monsters and shit, he's not leaning into like the Greek idea of like every monster being like, "Hey man, like what's up, dude? Like what's poppin'?" Like it's like that's kind of what it turns out to be, which like there's room for that, but in the nature of like kind of this movie had a lot of gravity to it, like or gravitas, whatever you want it. Like constantly you're feeling the weight of the guilt on Odysseus. You know, you're dealing with the weight of his absence on Telemachus and Penelope. You know, I wasn't expecting how they were gonna like deal with that whole saga, because like in the original Odyssey, like they do obviously have those whole side chapters of them doing their own thing, but like I thought that when he switched between like, you know, his past, his present, you know, what's going on with them, like all those when they decided to switch between, you know, focuses, I thought was fantastic.
It really was well done. Like, everything was filmed in a great way. I think one other thing I didn't really enjoy was the final fight sequence at the temple. Or
Yeah.
Not the temple, in Odysseus' house. Because, like, in
You
the
didn't like
mansion.
that?
The choreography wasn't great.
Huh.
And a lot of it was just, like, it felt like they were doing shaky cam to hide the bad choreography. Because in certain points I was like, that looks a little lackluster. Like,
Sure.
when Odysseus takes the axes when they're tied up and he's kind of swinging them, it looks like really kind of janky.
Okay.
And then there's a one quick scene, and I think they realized it doesn't look good, so they tried to quickly do it.
Yeah.
Is Odysseus is holding up someone using a shield, but then stabbing them with an arrow. But it looks really bad because he's just like gently poking them.
Yeah.
And it's like you hear this really kind of stock sound effect of like tsk, 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 as he's doing it. And those parts weren't amazing, but I do love the whole sequence of like the suitors are all trying to attack him because they have no honor.
Sure.
The whole idea that he's trying to win back the honor and restore peace when needed. And the only way to do that is by going further into being like this animalistic version of himself.
Yeah.
Like he has to really give in to the temptations and break even more laws to make sure that the laws of Zeus are kind of restored in a sense.
Yeah, well, I get that interpretation of it, to be honest with you. I kind of feel like they tackle it as like the fall of Troy is like the end of this civilization. It's the end of the Bronze Age. Like they're going into a dark age, and
End of
eventually
LeBron's age?
End of LeBron's age. I mean, he just joined the 76ers. Then he's going to join the Athens alien. Okay.
The next video we're going to make is how did the fall of Troy affect LeBron's legacy?
Yeah, literally. Oh my god. Nice. But like they kind of show it as like this, all of the traditions and all of the culture of that time was broken in one night. And it kind of just progressively led to it, because the idea is like as the fall of Troy spread, people started to think that was okay. And, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy where all these tales of the people from the sea coming to attack, it turns out to be people like Odysseus's fleet,
That's what I really loved is the whole time, like, they really try to hit you with it early on when they're going after that first village they're like, oh, we need supplies for the way home.
Yeah.
They have it where they're going through the village trying to find food and whatever. Mm-hmm. And the people there are like, oh my god, you're the people from the sea. And they're like, no, we're not the people from the sea. We're Greeks. We're from Ithaca. But they're like, they literally just came from the sea.
They literally just came from the sea,
They were too stupid to notice that it's like, no, they're calling you the people from the sea because you're showing up from the sea.
And killing everyone and stealing their food and all that fun shit.
Yeah. So I really love that. They're like, no, we're not the people from the sea. We're Greeks from Ithaca. We just washed up here, man.
Yeah, no. Shout out to that old guy who was like, don't keep going that way. They had so many warnings, but it was fate. And ultimately, it's Odysseus accepting his fate, taking his punishment, gets him back to Ithaca, reunites with everyone, saves it, and then he goes off into the abyss with Penelope to honor their dead, which kind of plays with the idea. One of the ideas is that the Odyssey and the Trojan War is that it was kind of an impetus for a lot of different people to go to end up settle in different countries and stuff. Like they say, actually, interestingly enough, the Romans trace back their origin to Aeneid, who was a son of Paris, like the guy, I think he was like the son of maybe Paris and Helen, something like that. And he goes on to form the Romans. So when you put it that way, the fall of the Greeks led to the rise of the Romans.
Ooh. Man, I should have paid more attention to history. I love it, but goddamn.
I also went way more special interest mode on this than any human should have, but like, come on, man. It was like the 2010s, my brain wasn't fully rotted enough yet. Now, I'm skibbiting my toilet and,
Now my brain is just constantly filled with, get these beggars out of here.
Yeah. Somebody get these beggars.
Overall, I think the main point here is that we really enjoyed this movie.
Yes, phenomenal.
This is
maybe the best movie we've ever seen for the show. No joke.
I would say it's probably top 5.
Top 5
in all the movies that we've reviewed.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, it does feel like it's something that does need to be seen in theaters. Because especially given the sound design alone, I think that you're going to have an easier time watching that in a theater than you are at home.
Yeah.
I think at home, it's not quite the same experience because the main point...
Unless you have a crazy-ass sound system,
I mean,
by all means.
If you have thrown thousands of dollars into your sound system, sure. But odds are you're watching this on your TV speaker.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be nearly as good. And that's probably the speaker hitting the back of the wall, and the sound reverberating back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're already losing some quality there.
Yeah.
Sure, you might have a sound bar. If you have a sound bar, a little bit better, but it's still nothing compared to actually...
And also the Cyclops might break your speakers.
Yeah, legit, if you're watching this at an even somewhat high volume, that Cyclops is going to destroy your home theater system. Like, it's actually, you're going to need to call in Geek Squad, and you're going to need to get that shit looked at.
They're probably, honestly, it's funny. I'm thinking about it. They're probably gonna have to reduce the sound like in the streaming version.
Oh, they're going to have to, because and then that lessens the impact of it then,
Yeah.
too. And also, I hate that, I don't know if you got this, I got by the jump scare.
Oh yeah.
I knew it was
there
coming.
were a few jump scares,
Yeah.
but in the Cyclops' cave, absolutely.
I knew it was coming, and the worst part is I still got.
Many such cases.
Well, also I got freaked out by the whole Agamemnon being murdered too, because it's just like silence.
No, you didn't. Yeah, if you don't know the lore, that was there very much like. Well, it was funny because I was like, "Damn, why are they like hiding this info?" But then I was like, "Oh, because they're gonna go back to it later, and we're gonna actually see Agamemnon and why he got." But he learns two of the biggest lessons from those shade. Like, obviously, he learns his fate, but he learns he should come in disguise and come and be safe. And he should understand that Antinous and all of them are tricksters and part of the problem, and that not to trust them.
They're just quietly talking, and all of a sudden the woman screams, stabbing him out of nowhere. Mm-hmm. And you're just like, whoa, that's loud too.
Well, I love how they did the cut between her like at the moment where she sacrificed the daughter, and just like showing that her heart had been corrupted by the whole murder.
I mean, it was great. Everyone in this was just on point.
Oh yeah.
There wasn't one person in this movie that I was like, really? Like,
Kind of a weak performance, yeah.
even Travis Scott, when I saw it, I was like, I'm not big on like rap. It's not really my thing. How is he gonna do? He was good.
He nailed it. He was a good bard. I mean, he was handpicked by Christopher Nolan.
And
for
I think
this,
I like the idea that it's an actual like modern day musician doing that, because it makes sense for them to be playing a bard.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of cool to me, and it also fits in with like someone who's a rapper can like just be like, oh, this is the start of like storytelling music.
I mean, rap owes its roots back to like spoken word poetry and shit.
Yeah. So I thought that was like a cool homage kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So I thought that everything about this was well thought out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Doesn't mean that it's my favorite Nolan movie, as we talked about earlier. It doesn't rank as either of our favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might change for me. We'll see. We'll have to revisit this when we inevitably see another Nolan movie for this podcast, whenever that might be.
Another 5 years from now, it feels like he comes out of like the shadows and he's like, hey, I've got a sick new movie coming out. You guys want to see it?
or we have you watch a retro one. Who knows?
I mean, do I see The Prestige now? Do we talk about that? I think
maybe we do.
It's on streaming.
Most things
Is it time that I actually watch The Prestige and get over my hatred of magicians?
I think it's morphin' time.
But I just don't like magicians, man.
No, it's all right, dude.
They're weird.
They'll like you. But I think that's going to do it for us. Much to say. Who knows? I honestly feel like we could end up, if we could tackle another kind of Roman style, Greek style movie down the road, I could easily see us kind of circling back to some of the stuff in this, because much like the source material and much like The Thing, this is a journey. We can only truly cover so much of it. I highly recommend seeing this in theaters. Like, honestly, a lot of times I'll be like, you can wait for streaming. Like, I mean, it's a good movie. You should see it. But, this is one you got to go see in theaters. And if you can see it, I mean, I think it's good and normal, but I can only imagine in IMAX, right? Like, oh, my God. I think they were literally saying in IMAX you can actually see more of the movie.
Yeah, you see the gods in IMAX. You see them watching over Odysseus.
I saw a meme of that where it was Mr. Clean, Barney, and someone else giving the finger to Odysseus or something.
Did you see the one where it was a lot of the cast were Happy Gilmore?
Oh, really?
And they're like, this is what you're missing when you don't see it in IMAX.
Oh, God. Well, I think we'll be back here at Chunky's on Hughes Road in Manchester soon for some Spider-Man action, it sounds like.
Yeah,
right?
we need pictures of Spider-Man, yeah.
Well, we'll catch you then, and as always, thank you for watching Flicks and Flops. Peace.